Now let us discuss some terms related to an AC circuit. So first term is resistance. We are already familiar with the term resistance. What is resistance? It is basically we can say it is basically the opposition which is offered to the flow of electrons by an conductor. Okay, so whatever a conductor is offering the that oppose is called the resistance. We are not going in much detail, but we know that V is equal to IR. We have already discussed that in direct current. So that's what resistance is. And reciprocal of resistance is defined as conductance, and that conductance is written as, like, the symbol for conductance is capital G. Okay. If we are talking about next term is the impedance. What is impedance? Impedance is basically, like, we can write for a DC circuit, we write V is equal to IR, right? Similarly, if this is an AC circuit, then we are going to write V is equal to IZ. So Z is like similar to resistance. It's not resistance exactly, it just, if there is a conductor, it offers resistance. Similarly, if there is a combination of conductor, inductor and capacitor, these three devices which can be there or which are part of a AC circuit, then the overall equivalent type of resistance, which is not known as resistance, is called the impedance. So if we go in the definition, this is the oppose. Again, this is the oppose, but when there is a conductor, there is a capacitor and there is a inductor as well. So it is opposition offered by the capacitor, inductor and the conductor to the flow of charge when it flows in an AC circuit. Now, the SI unit of impedance is same as resistance. Okay, so this is just ohm. And if we are talking about what is Z, so generally R is V by I, right? As per the Ohm's law, for a DC circuit, there was only resistor. Now, there will be capacitor also, there will be inductor also. So, V by I is not going to give us resistance. Rather than it is going to give us impedance. Or we can also say the total impedance of a circuit, in case there is only conductor or only resistances are part of the circuit, is known as resistance. So, total impedance will be resistance when there is only resistors connected, no capacitor and no inductor. So, this is impedance. Now, reactance. What is reactance? This is again similar to resistance, but not, see, resistance is offered by conductors, or we can say resistors. Similarly, the reactance is offered by capacitor and inductor. Okay, so the opposition which is offered by inductor or capacitor, okay, or the combination of both. So to the flow of charge in an AC circuit is defined as reactance, generally denoted by capital X. Okay, so there are two types. One is the inductive reactance XL, the offered by inductor, and the capacitive reactance XC, which is offered by a capacitor. So there are two types of reactances. There might be a combination of both of them also. If XL is bigger than XC, we say it is inductive circuit, and if XC is bigger than XL, then we say it is a capacitive circuit. Now, inductive reactance XL. So how do we define XL? Okay, so offered by the inductive circuit. So when I say inductive circuit, means either XL is only present, like only inductor is there, or if there is a combination of inductor or capacitor, then the XL is bigger than XC, then we say it is an inductive circuit. Now, the value of XL is given by L omega. So it depends on two things. One is, what is the inductance of the inductor which we are using, that is capital L, and what is omega. So omega is the angular frequency which circuit is working on. So this is same as the angular frequency of AC source. Okay, so angular frequency can also be written as 2 pi f, right? 2 pi times frequency, that's your angular frequency into L. And now, if we are talking about a DC circuit, for DC circuit, what is the frequency? DC circuit has zero frequency. It doesn't vibrate at all, right? So we'll say that F is 0. If this F is 0, then XL is 0. So for a DC circuit, the XL or the inductive reactance comes to be 0. Now let us talk about capacitive reactance. So capacitive reactance is basically offered by capacitive circuit, where the capacitor is only present or if capacitor and inductor both are present, then XC is bigger than XL. Now next is, what is the value? Value is XC is 1 by C omega. How these values are coming, we are going to derive when we are going to talk about an AC circuit where capacitor is connected. We'll derive this expression. Similarly, we are going to derive an expression for XL as well. So don't worry about it. Just we are revising all the things like what are the resistance similar terms in the AC circuit. So XC is 1 by C omega, and again omega is 2 pi f. So it is 2 pi f C. And if you see XC, it is inversely proportional to frequency. So when we make the graph of XC versus frequency, we get like this. So this is a graph and this is a hyperbola. And last point is, for DC circuit, the frequency is 0 and 1 upon 0, this will become 0. So we'll get infinite. So for DC circuit, the XC, the inductive capacitive reactance is basically infinity. Last is admittance. So what is admittance? The reciprocal of impedance is called the admittance. See, reciprocal of resistance was conductance, capital G. Similarly, resistance, reciprocal of impedance, Z, is called the admittance. And we can say that it's SI unit. If we talk about SI unit, then impedance was calculated in ohm, and this is basically reciprocal of ohm. So ohm inverse, or also known as MHO. Now, susceptance. So susceptance is basically reciprocal of reactance. Reciprocal of reactance is defined as susceptance. And now again there are two types, the reciprocal of inductive reactance and reciprocal of capacitive reactance. So that is going to be our inductive susceptance and capacitive susceptance. So next is power and power factor. So now let us discuss some of the things about power. What is the basic definition of power? If we say basic definition, so rate at which work is done. For electricity, in that branch of physics, we say power is the voltage into current, right? So that's the formula for power. Power is equal to V into I. But for an AC circuit, which V and which I we have to utilize? As we know, V and I both are a function, sine function. Both are sine functions in terms of time, right? So which power we have to use? So we'll say it is defined as the product of voltage and that of component of the current which is in phase with the voltage. When we are writing component of the current which is in phase with the voltage, so that is like, if this is my current, when I am making phasor diagram, this is my current. If my voltage is making some phi angle here, the voltage is leading the current by phi. Then we will say this I can be split in two components. One is along the V and one is perpendicular to V. So this is going to be I cos phi and this is going to be I sin phi. So product of this voltage and this current is defined as the current power in an AC circuit. So it is going to be VI cos phi. Which V and which I? So power is defined as VI cos phi, and here what are V and I? Which value do we use? We use the RMS value. Here for the entire AC circuit, if values are not mentioned, then they are basically RMS value. Otherwise they will mention if they are the peak values. Okay, so this V is the VRMS and this I is the IRMS. So these are RMS value of voltage and current. Now there are types of power. So first is instantaneous power. What is our instantaneous power? So basically instantaneous power is the instantaneous voltage into instantaneous current. So if my voltage is V is equal to V naught sin omega t. So V is the voltage at any time. Here we put different time and we get different voltages. And current I is I naught sin omega t plus phi. Here as you can see, the phase difference between current and voltage is phi, right? So omega t plus phi minus simply omega t, you'll get phi. So phase difference between voltage and current is phi. Then we will say instantaneous power is just defined as their product. And product is what? Product is V naught sin omega t into I naught sin omega t plus phi. So here V naught and I naught can be taken as first, and then this is the instantaneous voltage. So it is simply the product of voltage at the moment and the current which is flowing at that moment. The next is the average power or the true power. Okay, so if we find the average, again, what is the average power? It is simply the average of instantaneous power. So we write the instantaneous power, that is power at the moment, and then we are going to average it for an entire cycle, and that is going to be the average power, or we can say true power. Now this is an expression for the instantaneous power. So we'll say that instantaneous power is what? Instantaneous power, if we write that, it was V naught I naught sine omega t times sine of omega t plus phi. I'm just going to expand it. So V naught I naught sine omega t, then I'm expanding this expression using the expression for sine of a plus b, that is sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. So I am writing sine a cos b, this sine a plus b, so sine a cos b plus cos a, which is omega t, sine b, and now just multiply it with this. So I get, when these two things are multiplied, I am getting V naught I naught cos phi. This cos phi I written at first. This sine omega t into sine omega t is sine square of omega t. And what about this term and this term? When they multiply, I get V naught I naught sine phi. So V naught I naught sine phi times sine omega t into cos omega t. What does that give? So basically I am saying sine theta into cos theta is sine 2 theta by 2, because I can just multiply and divide with 2. So I'll get 2 sine theta cos theta, and that will become sine 2 theta. So I am saying simply that I am just dividing with 2, and then I am saying this will become 2 sine omega t cos omega t, that is sine of twice omega t. Now get the average. Okay, so get the average of instantaneous power. When we do the average of this, so we have already discussed how to do the average. So when we average this term, these are constant, V naught I naught cos phi. So they will remain as it is, V naught I naught cos phi. And the average of this sine square omega t, this is a sine square function, and average for sine square function for the whole period is half. So these were constant as it is, this was periodic function, so average is half, plus these are constant, so as it is, and this is sine of something, right? This is a sine function, and average for a sine function for the whole time period is 0. So since this average comes to be 0, so this entire term will become 0, and hence the average power simply comes to be V naught I naught cos phi by 2. Now if I am writing V naught I naught cos phi by 2, then it will become V naught by root 2 I naught by root 2 times cos phi. Here what I am doing, I am just splitting this 2 into root 2 into root 2. What is this term? This is VRMS. What is this term? This is IRMS. So VRMS into IRMS into cos phi. So that's what our average power, VRMS IRMS into cos phi, or you can also write V naught I naught cos phi by 2, right? So this is our true power or the average power. Why are we calling it true power? Because there is an apparent power as well. So this is the next. So here there are some other forms as well. So this VRMS can be written as, we have already discussed what is Z. So here instead of V is equal to IR, for an AC circuit we write VRMS is equal to IRMS, and instead of R we use Z, the impedance. So we can also write that VRMS is IRMS into Z. So here instead of this V, if we put IRMS into Z, so it becomes IRMS square Z cos phi, right? So IRMS, this will become, so VRMS into IRMS into cos phi. This is the expression for power, the average power. And now I am going to write this as IRMS into Z. So IRMS into IRMS is this, and cos phi into Z. So what is cos phi? Cos phi, we are going to discuss that cos phi is nothing but R by Z. So this cancels, and this expression is very similar to a direct current, that I square R, right? So this expression is similar to that. So this expression is also important for true power. So average power is Vrms Irms cos phi, or Irms square into R, or if we are using V square, then the Z also comes. So later we are going to discuss all these, like how these things are getting converted into each other. Now next is the apparent or virtual power. So what is apparent power? So idea is that ideally the power should be what? Voltage into current. Now if Vrms is the mean voltage throughout the cycle, Irms is the mean current throughout the cycle, then their product Vrms into Irms should be the power. So that is just a feel. We know that the actual power or the true power or the average, that comes to be Vrms into Irms into cos phi. But here the Vrms into Irms, that quantity is called the apparent power. So apparent power is nothing but the product of apparent voltage, that is Vrms, and apparent current, that is Irms, is called the apparent power. So it is simply Vrms into Irms. If this is V0 by root 2, this is I0 by root 2, then we'll get V0 I0 by 2, where V0 and I0 are peak values of voltage and currents. Now here, this is a triangle, and this triangle is just representing all types of power. So here they are saying this is the angle phi, and if I make the component, so this power is Vrms into Irms, that's the apparent power. It feels that this should be the power. So this power, I am making the component, one component is true power, that is this part, that is Vrms Irms cos phi, and another is Vrms Irms sin phi. So this particular power is this is the actual power, the true power or the average power. We have already done the derivation. This is the true power, and this is called the wattless power. Why it is called wattless power? Because if throughout the cycle this power is not consumed by the circuit, okay, this is again returned. Like what is power? The rate at which heat is produced. So total this much of heat should be produced or is actually produced, but part of it, so only this part of it is the actual heat, and this part of energy rate, this is the energy which has been returned in that particular time period. Okay, so circuit consumes this much energy, and this much is the permanent loss, and this is basically returned back by the circuit. So this is called wattless power. So this triangle is an easy method just to remember that three types of power: apparent, true, and the wattless. Apart from these, there is an instantaneous power, that is the instantaneous value of voltage into instantaneous value of current. Now the next is power factor. The phi which we just discussed, the cosine of that is called the cosine of the angle of lag or lead. Okay, so the phase difference. Okay, so that is called the power factor. The cos phi is known as power factor. And next is the ratio of R by Z. Okay, so here if we make this diagram, then this is basically XL minus XC. So inductive capacitance minus inductive reactance minus capacitive reactance, and this is resistance and this is impedance. So the ratio of resistance to impedance is known as the cos phi. In other terms, this is also written. So this can be utilized to convert it from the other form. In last time when we were doing the VRM, the conversion, so that time we had used this, that cos phi is nothing but it is R by Z. So this is the triangle from which it is coming. The derivation of this triangle we are going to do when we are going to study series LRC circuit. And the last is the ratio of true power to the apparent power. True power is Vrms Irms cos phi, and the apparent power is just Vrms into Irms. So their ratio is again cos phi. So there are various ways in which power factor can be defined. It is just cosine of the angle of lead or lag. Now wattless current. So what is wattless current? At the start we discussed that how do we define the power? Power is defined for a AC circuit. Power is defined as the Vrms into IRMS cos phi. What is IRMS cos phi? The component of the current along the VRMS, right? What about this component? So this component will produce the wattless power, and hence this type of current, or this current here, is called wattless current. And the average of wattless component over one complete cycle is 0. So when we find the average of this entire value, the average of IRMS is IRMS, but average of sin phi is going to be 0. Now, there is a question. This question says the voltage of an AC source varies with, as per this equation, V is equal to 100 sin 100 pi t cos 100 pi t, where t is in seconds and V is in volts. Then they are saying what is the peak voltage and frequency of the source. So let us just find the peak voltage and the frequency. So first, this voltage equation is V is equal to 100 sin 100 pi t cos 100 pi t. First thing is, if you see at this voltage equation, this is not written in traditional format. Traditional format is basically V naught or V maximum sin omega t plus phi, or V naught cos omega t plus phi. Sine and cosine can be converted into each other, but it has to be a sine or cos. This is product of sine into cos. So what I am going to do is I am going to convert this. So I am just writing that this is 50 into 2 sine 100 pi t times cos 100 pi t. What is this? 2 sine theta cos theta is formula for sine 2 theta. So this is 50, and this entire thing becomes sine 2 theta, and 2 theta is, this is the theta. So twice of that is 200 pi t. Now this is my proper equation, and let us just compare it to our traditional equation, that is V naught sine omega t plus phi. Now if you compare these two equations, we get that what is V naught? V naught comes to be 50 volts. What is omega? Omega is 200 pi. And what about the phi? The initial phase? The initial phase is 0. Now, which options has been asked? The peak voltage. If you see the peak voltage, it is 50 volts. So this option is correct. What about the frequency? Frequency can be found using angular frequency. So we know that omega is nothing but 2 pi f. Omega is 200 pi, right? And it must be 2 pi f. So here the frequency comes to be 2 pi would cancel, and we got 100 hertz. So the option for frequency is not 50 hertz, it is 100 hertz. So only option B is the correct one. Now, next question is two sine voltages of the same frequencies, okay? Same frequencies, and they are shown in the diagram. As shown in the diagram, what is the frequency and the phase relationship between them. So here we have a table and options. So this is frequencies and this is basically phase, right? So first thing is, let us find the frequency. For frequency, on this axis time has been given. So first I am getting the period. Time period of m. This is m and this is n. So time period is basically 0.4, and frequency is how much? Frequency is 1 by the time period. That comes to be 1 by 0.4. So that is 10 by 4 or 2.5 hertz. So if we see the option, this option, these three are correct options. Next, now they are saying which one phase lead of the n over m. So they are saying which one is leading first. We have to check. See, just go to the starting point. So m is starting here, n is starting first. As we can see, it is m which is starting first. So m is the one who is leading, right? And they are saying phase lead of n, right? So how much n is leading? So we are saying n is leading. See, if here actually m is leading, but if they are asking n is leading, then we have to tell the negative answer, right? So here m is lead. So I am just writing that m leads n by how much? So here if you see the peak of m is coming, and that's where it is starting. So the total phase is written as 360 degrees. So this entire angle is written as 360 degree, or let us just say the time gap is basically 0.1. This is the time gap or delta t, or the time difference is basically 0.1, and the phase difference is found to be omega delta t. What is omega? Omega is 2 pi f. So it is 2 pi, and frequency, if you see, it is 2.5, or I am just writing 10 by 4 into delta t. Delta t is basically 0.1, which is 1 by 10. So that gives me that here there is a phase difference of pi by 2. So m leads n. M is starting first. So m is the leading one, and it leads n by how much? A pi by 2. And now they are asking the phase lead of n over m. So n is not leading, n is lagging. So we'll write that n leads m by negative pi by 2. I am just changing this sign. So answer is going to be negative pi by 2. So 2.5 and negative pi by 2. So answer is going to be the B. B is the correct answer.